Isekai keeps dropping heat in 2024 and 2025, but some absolute bangers are getting slept on harder than your alarm at 6 a.m. Today, we're breaking down 15 underrated isekai you probably skipped but shouldn't. Kicking off with number 15, Fluffy Paradise. Yes, the title sounds like a mobile game ad that would drain your wallet faster than genshin pulls, but stick with me. This show is pure serotonin. It follows a girl reborn into another world where she can literally charm animals, monsters, and even scary creatures into loving her. Forget swords, forget magic. She's basically the Snow White of isekai, except the animals don't just sing, they fight alongside her. The comedy is gentle, the vibes are healing, and the fantasy world feels cozy instead of grimdark. If you're burned out from edgelord protagonists and overpowered crybabies, this one's your blanket and hot chocolate. Does it reinvent the wheel? No. But who cares? Sometimes you just want to pet a giant wolf without getting eaten. 14. No longer allowed in another world. Isekai Shikaku. Sliding to number 14, no longer allowed in another world. Okay, imagine dropping into another world, but instead of becoming a hero, you're basically Osamu Dazai with depression, who wants nothing to do with your fantasy nonsense. This anime is dark comedy gold. It mocks the idea of isekai wish fulfillment by giving us a protagonist who's literally allergic to hope. Goblins? Dragons? Beautiful women throwing themselves at him? He shrugs like, I'd rather not. It's a bizarre mix of nihilism and slapstick, and honestly, it works. The tone swings from hilarious to haunting so fast you get whiplash. If you're tired of every isekai protagonist treating another world like their personal playground, this cynical writer will make you laugh, then make you question your life choices, like why you stayed up until 3 a.m. watching anime again. Landing at number 13, Ashura. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't this more battle fantasy than isekai? True, but it has the reincarnation twist baked in, so it counts on a technicality, and I make the rules here. Ashura throws us into a world where the Demon King's dead, and now it's just a massive royal rumble of warriors trying to prove who's top dog. The animation? Clean. The fights? Crunchy. The number of characters? Way too many. But hey, it's like Fate Stay Night on steroids. What makes it underrated is that it got overshadowed by mainstream hits. But if you like strategy battles, mythic scale fights, and characters with enough monologues to fill a philosophy textbook, this one's worth the watch. Just maybe keep a notebook handy, because you'll forget half their names by episode 3. Number 12. My instant death ability is so overpowered. Looking at number 12, my instant death ability is so overpowered. This anime is what happens when someone says, what if Saitama had zero patience? The protagonist doesn't just defeat enemies, he literally thinks, die. And boom, they're gone. It's OP insanity with no breaks. The show could have been a boring power fantasy, but it actually leans into the comedy of being too powerful. Monsters quake villains' monologue, and our dude just yawns them into oblivion. The fun is in the reactions. People think he's some normal guy until he casually deletes a demon like he's uninstalling Candy Crush. Is it deep? Absolutely not. But it's dumb fun, and sometimes that's exactly what you want after a long day. Think of it as Diet One Punch Man, with extra sarcasm sprinkled on top. Number 11. Arifureta. From Commonplace to World's Strongest, Season 3. Marching in at number 11, Arifureta Season 3. Now, Arifureta is the anime equivalent of pineapple on pizza. You either love it or roast it endlessly. The CGI monsters in Season 1 looked like PlayStation 2 cutscenes, and we all remember that trauma. But Season 3? Way better. Hajime is back with his guns, gadgets, and girlfriend squad, still being an edgy cinnamon roll who crawled out of a death pit and said, yeah, I'm the main character now. The underrated part is that people wrote the series off early, but it's grown into one of the more entertaining power climb isekai out there. Plus, let's be honest, watching a gun-wielding protagonist in a medieval fantasy world just never gets old. 10. As a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world. Kicking off our top 10, this anime has a title so long it should come with a warning label. But hey, that's isekai. The gimmick? Our boy gets reincarnated into a noble family, but doesn't get flashy magic powers. He gets appraisal. Sounds lame, right? Wrong. He uses it to scout talent, build alliances, and become a tactical genius. Think Isekai meets Football Manager. It's not about flashy fireballs, but about brains over brawn, which makes it refreshing. The political strategy actually feels engaging, and watching him slowly rise in influence is satisfying in a small brain to big brain kind of way. Underrated because it's not action-packed, but trust me, it's got layers. Number 9. Villainous Level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the Demon Lord. Sliding in at number 9, this one's a blast. You know those otome game isekai where the girl gets reincarnated as the villainess and spends the entire time trying not to die? Yeah, this one cranks that trope up to 99. Our heroine is so absurdly powerful, she overshadows the actual Demon Lord. But all she wants is to avoid drama and live quietly. Spoiler, absolutely nobody lets her chill. It's the perfect mix of comedy and action, with a protagonist who's relatable in her please just leave me alone energy. Honestly, she's one of the most fun female leads in recent isekai, and the show doesn't get enough credit for flipping the usual script. 8. That time I got reincarnated as a slime, Season 3. Landing at number 8, it's Slime Season 3. Now I know you're thinking, how is slime underrated? Well, hear me out. Everyone knows Rimuru, but Season 3 has been flying under the radar because of anime overload in 2024-2025. The pacing slows down to focus on politics, alliances, and Rimuru stepping up as a leader instead of just blob fighting monsters. Some fans dipped, but honestly, this season is peak world building. It shows the real consequences of Rimuru's actions, and while it's not non-stop fights, the payoff hits harder because of the setup. It's the kind of season people will look back on later and go, yeah, that was essential. Underrated now, legendary later. So number 7, Suicide Squad Isekai. Looking at number 7, Suicide Squad Isekai. Yes, DC decided, you know what Batman villains need? A portal to another world. And you know what? It slaps way harder than expected. Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and the gang get thrown into a fantasy setting with magic, kingdoms, and chaos. And it's just pure insanity. This is the kind of crossover nobody asked for, but everybody secretly wanted. The art style is slick, the action is brutal, and Harley steals the show every scene. Critics dunked on it as a gimmick, but honestly, watching Harley swing a mallet at an orc is my kind of peak fiction. It's not perfect, but it's definitely underrated. Number 6, Potion, Wagami o Tasukeru. Marching to number 6, Potion, Wagami o Tasukeru. Another mouthful title, another isekai gem. Our protagonist dies and gets reincarnated with one simple ability, creating potions. Sounds boring? Wrong again. She breaks the system by crafting potions that can do anything. Healing, boosting, even crazy hacks. The fun is watching her casually outclass everyone while pretending she's just a normal girl. It's laid back, but with a sneaky OP core, and it's surprisingly wholesome too. Underrated because people hear potions and think Minecraft, but trust me, this one has charm. 5. Yandere Dark Elf. She chased me all the way from another world. Sliding in at number 5, Yandere Dark Elf. The title alone screams chaos, and the anime delivers. Our poor protagonist gets isekai'd back to modern Japan, but the obsessive dark elf he met in the fantasy world isn't done with him. She literally chases him into his world, causing absolute mayhem. It's like, what if your crazy RPG companion showed up at Starbucks while you were ordering a latte? It's unhinged, hilarious, and surprisingly scary at times. Definitely niche, but if you like chaotic rom-com energy mixed with fantasy horror, this one's a gem. 4. Quality Assurance in Another World. Landing at number 4. Quality Assurance in Another World. Think of this as Isekai meets IT department. The story follows a tester who ensures the world doesn't glitch out of existence. Yes, QA testers, but make it fantasy. The meta commentary is genius. NPCs, bugs, and world resets all tie into the plot. It's quirky, self-aware, and gives you that this is too smart to be real vibe. Definitely one of the most underrated concepts in recent years, because who thinks of software testers when they think isekai? 3. Failure Frame. I became the strongest and annihilated everything with low-level spells. Marching to number 3, Failure Frame. If you ever got stuck with the weakest skill in an RPG, this anime is your revenge fantasy. The protagonist gets bullied for his trash-tier powers, then promptly turns them into nightmare fuel. The tone is dark. This isn't fluffy paradise, this is trauma city. But that's what makes it work. Watching him flip the script and obliterate enemies who mocked him is cathartic as hell. It's got that grim isekai flavor without being edgy just for the sake of it. Honestly, if Redo of Healer left a bad taste in your mouth, this is the version that fixes it. Number 2, A Journey Through Another World, Raising Kids While Adventuring. Sliding into number 2, this one's for the wholesome gang. The story? Guy gets isekai'd, finds 2 abandoned kids, and decides, guess I'm a fantasy dad now. And honestly, it works. It's part slice of life, part adventure, and all heart. Watching him balance parenting with dungeon crawling is weirdly addicting. You'll be crying over parenting moments one minute and cheering for boss fights the next. Underrated because people assume it's just another slow isekai, but it's secretly one of the most heartfelt ones out there. Finally, number 1, the strongest magician in the Demon Lord's army was a human. This anime is criminally slept on. The twist? Our main guy isn't a reincarnated hero. He's a human serving in the Demon Lord's army. Betrayal, loyalty, and insane battles all collide as he rises through the ranks. It flips the usual script where humans are the good guys, and the perspective makes it so much fresher. The fights are intense, the politics juicy, and the protagonist? He's not your typical goody two-shoes. This is the kind of underrated gem that deserves way more love, because it proves isekai can still surprise us. And that's our rundown of 15 underrated isekai from 2024 and 2025. Some are wild, some are wholesome, and some are just plain insane. But all deserve more love. Which one are you adding to your watch list? Drop your pick in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe for more anime deep dives every week.